Hi, I'm Tom, and in this video I will show you how to create IDS using IFC Tester. IDS stands for Information Delivery Specification, and it was created by buildingSMART as a way to define and validate exchange information requirements. So basically with an IDS file you can validate the information in your IFC project. Now, IFC Tester is a free open source web app, and when you access it on ifctester.org, it will take a while to load because it's loading the app. This is important because once the app is loaded, none of the data that you are using, so your IFC data or the IDS data, leaves your machine. Everything runs locally. The link to IFC Tester is in the description box below. In my previous video, I have shown you how to validate IFC model against an IDS specification, and in this video I will show you the basics of creating IDS specification inside of the IFC Tester. So to create a new IDS, I will either click here or I will go to File and New IDS File. And this opens up this tab with the IDS specification, and I'm in the editor state of the UI, and this is the basic information about my IDS. So the title of the IDS will be SPB tutorial. I could add email. I can add that this is version 1.0. I can add date. So this is the information that will be inside of the IDS specification. This is enough for me as the basic information about the IDS. And now I'll jump into creating specifications, and I want to check for these specifications. First, I want to check that all IFC wall types have fire rating property in the property set pset wall common. So this is the first check I want to do. So here in IFC Tester, in the specification, I will click New and I will choose Create Specification. And this creates unnamed specification, and I will name it check wall fire rating. I'm not checking for the values, but just that the fire rating exists. Now I will want to require this. It's not optional or prohibited. I will want to require, and here I can set which IFC schema version should be tested. If I would send IFC 4.3 version, it will not pass. So I will check just for IFC 4 and IFC 2.3. And now this is the basic information. I could write a description so people who receive this IDS have more information, but I will not write it here. But I will click to applicability, and here I'm selecting basically which objects I will check. And I can check for entities, attributes, properties, materials, classification, or relationships, which we're the part of. And I want to check for all IFC wall types, so these are entities. And the entity name is simple. I don't want to check for IFC wall, but IFC wall type, so I will click here, and if I start to typing wall type, it gives me, there's autocomplete, so I will select IFC wall type. So now it's checking for all IFC wall types, and I don't want to specify predefined type, so any predefined type, if I leave this empty, any predefined type will be checked. So this is checking the applicability, and I want to have the requirement, so I will click into requirement, and here I again select facet, and now I want to check for property, so I will select property facet. And here I set up the property set. Again, it's simple, and I will click here, and I will again start typing wall, and it gives me autocomplete, so I will check pset wall common. And for the name of the property, I will again click here. Unfortunately, this does not give me autocomplete, so I have to know what exact name I'm looking for. So I'm looking for fire rating, and these I'm not looking to checking for value, data type, and the cardinality is this one is required. And this is again instruction for people who are opening the IDS. So this is the setting of the check wall fire rating specification, and I can go back to applicability and change that or change the information. So this is one rule defined, and now let's basically check. I have this SPA project, so let's check this IFC, and I will load this model by either clicking here or going to IFC, open IFC model. I will open the file, select, it will load in a while, and now I've got this IDS active, and I will run the audit. It takes a little while. Now you can see that 3 out of 3 checks have passed. If I would download the report, it's saved as an HTML file. So here, if I open it, you can see the more fine-grained information, and here I can see all of the objects which have passed the test. So I have described this in my previous tutorial showing how to validate IFCs. Now let's add another rule to our SPB tutorial IDS, and you can see now that we are in the viewer mode, and I will go to editor, and I've got here the basic IDS, and here is the first specification. And now I want to check that all IFC wall types with the solid wall predefined type have this mean time between failure property in the property set name pset service life. So let's create a new specification, and it will be check solid wall types, and it will be again required. For applicability, I will select entity, and again I want to check for wall types, so wall type, and here in the predefined type I want to check for solid wall, and it's not offered, and I see that I have set the wrong wall type, the curtain wall type. So again I will click here and type in wall and select IFC wall type, and I want to check for the predefined type solid wall. If I click here, you can see that I have got again enumeration of the options defined by the IFC standard schema. So I will choose the solid wall, and now I will go to my requirements and create facet for property, and the property set name is service life, and the property name is mean time between failure, and again I'm not checking for value or data type. So this is basically set up, but I want to check for the IFC type class of solid wall. I want to also check that they have load bearing property in the pset wall common, and then the load bearing property is set to true, that it's a load bearing wall. So again in requirements, so I'm still in the specification because this applicability is still valid. So in requirements I can create another requirement, and again it will be property, and I will scroll down here, and this is wall common, and the name is load bearing. So again I have to type that in, and now I also want to check for value, and here I've got option of several values selection, but for this one it's simple, and this for boolean it's set to either true or false, so I will set the true option. And now the third requirement for IFC wall type solid wall, I want to check that they have classification reference L-ULM and the classification system is CCI construction. So I will add another requirement. So I will select the classification, scroll down here, and the system will be, and if I type in CC, you can see that I'm of a CCS, CCTB, but not CCI construction. But you can actually, even though you've got these autofill option, you can create your own by using Control and Escape. So I will type in CCI construction because that's the name of the classification system, and I will hit Control Enter, and this one sets this value like so, and the value should be L-ULM. So this is the check for the classification, and it's all in this one specification, so this is nice. Now let's check this and let's run the audit against the SPA IFC. So I will click this run audit again, and you can see that I have failed. Only 5 of 6 checks have passed, and the walls fire rating have passed, but this one have failed because only 2 of 3 checks have passed. And to know the details again, I will download the report, and if I open it again, it's this HTML file. I've got these results here, and in the red I can see the problematic element, and I can see it's this solid type of wall. The required property set does not exist. I have the information here, and I've got the global ID. So let me show you if I fix this. If I copy this, and if I go to my editing software, to Bonsai, and I will find this object. Now it's selected just like so, and here I will add the property set, and it's service life. I will add that property set, and I will enable this mean time between failure, and I will add, let's say, 70 years for wall. That should be good enough. So it's here. I will save the file, and now back in IFC Tester, I will close this one and load the IFC model again, the newly saved one. And if I run the audit, you can see that it passed because the property set was there, the one that I was checking for. So let's now do the final rule, and we want to check that there are no IFC building element proxy objects, the pesky IFC building elements objects in our IFC. So again, from the viewer, I will switch to the editor mode, and I will create a new specification, and this one will be check for proxy elements. Okay, and here I will want to have not that it's required, but that it's prohibited. So this is the difference. And for applicability, I will check for facet and its entity. And if I click here and type in building element proxy, I have the autocomplete, so it's this one, and I don't even need any other requirements. This applicability is enough, and it's prohibited. So if there is building element proxy in my project, it will not pass. So if I run audit, you can see that it has failed this one, and here you can see 22 prohibited entries. If I take a look at my file, you can see that I've got quite a lot of building element proxies inside of the project, so it checked it correctly. So these are the basics of creation of IDS using IFC Tester. The UI is quite nice. And you can always go back and change, for instance, this one as you wish. Now be careful, because this IDS is not saved yet, and if I was to close this tab, it would disappear. So I will actually want to save this as an IDS file, so I will go to File, Save IDS File, and it will be named SPB. I did a mistake here, tutorial, so it's this name. And if I open it up here, you can see that it's a standard IDS file with the XML format. So this is probably what you already know. Now let me show you one handy thing. If now I will close this IDS and I will also close the SPA, you can of course open IDS files which were or were not created in IFC Tester. So I can open the IDS and I've got it in my downloads, and it's this one, and you can see in the viewer that I've got this information. And if I want to create another IDS and I want to use parts of the existing IDS file, I have this option in IFC Tester. So if I will create a new IDS file and I want to have this, just check for proxies. So I know that I have created the rule in this IDS, so I don't have to create it from scratch. When I click here, you can see the tabs, you can have multiple IDSs open. And if I click this new, I can import rules or specifications from other IDS. And you can see all of the open IDS options here. And I will use this check for proxy elements. So now here I've got this IDS proxy check, and it contains only this rule for checking for proxies. So if I would load my file and I would run the audit, you can see that there's just one check for the proxies, and I could save out this IDS and it will be just the IDS for the proxy check. So this is really nice that you can copy specification between multiple IDS files. Okay, so this is it for the basics of IDS creation using the IFC Tester web application. And again, the link to IFC Tester is in the description box below. I plan to create another video where I will take a look at how to create some more complex requirements, like looking for values, looking for ranges of values, and other tricks. So if you are interested in seeing that, subscribe to the SPB production channel. And for credits, IFC Tester was created by Cyan J. Das under the Google Summer of Code project. So thank you to Cyan and thank you to Google. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.